looking at some mushrooms, and look at how perfectly round this one is. This is like unbelievable. This almost looks AI generated because of how perfect it is. You'll like this one. That's Uku from Twilight Princess. I love that one. Oh. Wait, so Refly, if I just type that out, will it work? Let me see. Do I have to capitalize it? If I capitalize it, what? Oh my gosh. And Uku. Hi, Tweet. Now that's a mushroom. I know. Look how perfect this is. It just makes me smile. It's like the roundness of it is just so glorious and beautiful. I mean, come on. It's just so I wonder how small it is. They can grow to be the size of your hand, I think. The size of a dinner plate, even. They can grow to be quite large. But this one looks a bit smaller. This is an Amanita muscaria. You know, classic mushroom. One that's my little character is based on. I hope everyone's doing well. You guys, I've got a new function. You guys, you finally have the opportunity to forage for mushrooms. Reclusi said, hi Reclusi. Mushrooms are scary. Some of them are yummy. Some of them make you trip. Some of them will straight up end you. Yep. And what better way to teach you these lessons than with my new channel point redeem? So let me show you how it works. So basically, you redeem the forage, and before you redeem it, don't redeem it yet. Basically, you have a 30% chance of finding a poisonous mushroom, and a 1% chance of receiving a gift sub. Hi Sam, how's it going? Sam, I'm explaining my new foraging. We're going to be foraging today. 1% chance of a gift sub, and then the rest percent is for stuff. Is for edible mushrooms. Okay, I'll show you how it works. Let me move to my other See, so Refly. Oh, congratulations, Refly. You found a chicken of the woods mushroom. That's a good option. Good thing you didn't get the poisonous option. If you got the poisonous one, oh, that's not good. Let me see if I can simulate it. You're gonna get some consequences. You're gonna get a consequence if you forage a poisonous mushroom. And it's up to you if you would want to risk the consequences. Okay, let me see if I can simulate it. Okay, so that's another good one. I have a third chance, so I'm gonna keep simulating it until we get a poisonous one. Oh! Oh no, Tweet! Oh no! Oh no! So there's a little fart sound because you will regret eating that mushroom. And unfortunately, Tweet has been timed out for the next 30... Actually, Tweet has been timed out for 30 seconds. I'm sorry, Tweet. Please stay. Don't leave. Moz, ban Tweet for 24 hours. No. It's nothing that severe, but... Did you end up getting timed out, Tweet? I wonder if it works. Because that would be good. I didn't want to do it for too long, you know what I mean? But like a little punishment. Okay, yeah, you got timed out for 30 seconds. Dang it. Yes, you got a jack-o'-lantern mushroom. I'll show you, Tweet, which one you got. Oh, look at my coding I did. You guys, I did all this coding. I'm a hacker. I was talking to Refly yesterday. I was like, hacking. I did the if So first you generate a random number between 1 and 100, and then you have these if-then sequences. I was looking up how to do this the whole way through. StreamerBot is relatively easy to use, I'll say. Reflex said, can you add a flatulence mushroom? When the person's chat shows up in chat on screen, it plays a fart sound. Oh, you mean like, for the rest of the... Oh my gosh. Forest of Wires. Whoa. Whoa. If it isn't the legend himself, oh my gosh. Hi. We are foraging. Whoa, some spritz. You know what? Okay, I'm gonna get all I always get flustered when new people come in. Hello. You guys, if you don't know Forest of Wires, he is a StreamerBot expert. Wow. Yeah, it's a mushroom themed show. So you have the opportunity to forage for a mushroom. You can get a poisonous mushroom. You can get a edible mushroom. Oh, tweet, I'm sorry. I think there's only one opportunity. Maybe I should increase the number of opportunities. We're testing it out. And then there's a 1% chance that you get a gift sub. So, yeah, but... so you got a jack-o'-lantern mushroom. So I'll show you which one that one is. Nope, not jack-o'-lantern. Hold on. We are... Yeah, so... I think these ones glow in the dark. So they look very similar to chanterelles. So you need to be careful. If you ever forage for chanterelles, you need to make sure you don't get these ones. I believe they have a different gill structure. I'm not a mushroom foraging expert, but you know. So, anyway, so something I want to say about Forest of Wires is he is incredibly inspiring to me. Every time I go in your stream, it's like, holy shit, this guy's an expert at everything. He can sing, he can play instruments, he can do speed runs. I mean, it's truly... So on this channel, we talk a lot about philosophy and kind of the meaning of life, if you will. So I was raised Mormon, and for other people who are raised in a religious household, and you kind of fall away from that, you kind of lose that sense of magic that you were promised in the beginning of your life. And, you know, I have some people in my community who are atheists, and they kind of start out just accepting that magic doesn't exist. But for people like me, like, I spend my whole life trying to look for magic, right? And these days I'm really coming... When I started streaming on Twitch, I feel like it was when I really started to explore creative expression, and I'm noticing now that is real magic. There are people out there who have access to real magic, and this is definitely one of them. Okay, I'm gonna do this. Mods, shout out Forest of... I don't have any mods, so I just do everything myself. So that's why it took like 20 million years. Anyway, Sam said, oh man, I've totally given up on magic existing. I don't know, man. I'm trying to find it in places I didn't normally expect, if that makes sense. I think that the concept of a force external to me, this is something we've talked about before. I'm not sure if I'll ever believe in a force external to me. You know, I just think I don't have the capability of that. That's just kind of like the way my mind works, I guess, just very like rationally. But I can believe in how remarkable human capabilities are. So, anyway. Okay, shall we look at some more mushrooms? Today, what we're actually doing today is we are reading more of the Bhagavad Gita, which is a Hindu text. We're doing kind of like a reading stream. Oh, the fact that you're so nice. Thank you. That means a lot that you said that, because wow. My chat knows this. I get super flustered whenever people I really admire tend to come by. Anyway, so I'm reading the Bhagavad Gita, which is a core Hindu text, to try and get some insights. Like I said, the door's always open for something else. And so we're only part of the way through. So this is chapter 6, but there's 18 chapters. So we're going to continue our reading of that today, but I want to show you one more mushroom. Let me see the one that I want to show you. Okay, look at this. This looks like an AI generated image, you guys. This is crazy. Okay, look, this is the close-up image, but look at the one. Hello? That doesn't look real. That's so crazy. What? I don't know. I live in Utah, so like the desert environment just like doesn't allow for anything like this to happen. But there's just like suddenly a mushroom growing out of the concrete. I don't know. And I think this is an inky cap mushroom. This looks like an inky cap. But with the black and white contrast, it looks so fascinating. But like, it's crazy how, and I've seen on Reddit, there's people who share pictures of like mushrooms growing out of the floorboard of their house and shit. And it's like, I didn't know that could happen. Apparently it can, if you have the right conditions. So I'm assuming this is a more humid climate. Sam says we are on the total opposite side on that. That's okay. I love contention. I love differing opinions. I've known so many people who believe 100% in magic, and everything I've ever seen them do, I'm like, there are way simpler explanations for what happened. Okay, that's fair. I guess because I get that feeling as well sometimes when I see people and the conclusions they reach about why things happen. But the thing is, I guess I ask myself, like, who am I to take away somebody else's magic, you know? I don't want to do that. If people have their magic they believe in, like, I'm happy for them, kind of, in a way, you know, like, even though I can't access that myself, I feel like I want to just be happy for them. Loving the outfits. Thank you, Reply. I've got my pajama pants on. Hold on. I've got my pajama. It's professional top half, unprofessional bottom half. We got our coffee pajama pants going on. So, Tweet says it just goes to show that things will always return to nature. Yeah. Damn. So anyway, okay. We are taking deep breaths. We're fine. We're good. We're all good. Okay. I want to see. Look at this other mushroom picture. So cool. Wow. That was a nice blowing. Did you hear that? That was my husband. That was my husband downstairs. He has the dad sneeze, the dad blowing of nose. It's just incredibly loud. That's what happens. Like, the place where I'm streaming in, there's no room. It's just an open. I'm just out in the open. I'm fully exposed. Like, I mean, literally behind me is just like my it's just the wall. Well, there's the balcony. So I'm checking the balcony now. And then like, that's it. Those are the stairs. Anyway, so love it. Supreme streaming setup. Eclectic, welcome. How's it going? Oh my gosh, I loved your stream yesterday. The new Y2K. By the way, I didn't know what Y2K meant until your stream, but now I know. It means year 2000. I loved your overlay. It literally looked like I was in a soap bottle. A soap bottle from the 2000s. And that was, it just feels like nice and refreshing. There's the water, there's the fish, there's that beautiful blue color. Yeah, it's nice. I hope it was the nose and not the ass. If it was, yeah, you would be able to tell the difference, I think. Both are loud, by the way. Both are very loud. Okay, story about that. My husband's not gonna be happy that I'm sharing this, but, did you guys, you don't have to share, but like, I grew up in a family that was like embarrassed to fart around each other. Like genuinely, we grew up in a family of holders, even in our own household. Like nobody would release. So it'd just be like, and if it did happen, it would be like super embarrassing. Okay, when I met my husband, he just like lets it's a completely different culture. So for some context, I believe this, well, I'll have to ask my husband the specifics, but for some context, my husband's mom is a Chinese traditional medicine practitioner. And so of course we remember our wisdom, you guys. Let me see if it's still there. Here. If you're holding in a fart right now, let it go. According to traditional Chinese medicine, farting moves qi out of the body as part of its natural flow. Holding it in can cause qi stagnation and even emotional tension. So, let one rip. You know? Like, okay, so this is, his mom is a traditional Chinese medicine practitioner, so you can guess why they would just be open about that. But it really surprised me when I was dating him. I was like, whoa, okay. All right. So, yeah. Different people. I don't know. For me now, so I've changed my habits. Now it's like, if I'm in my house, I'm not gonna hold back. Maybe I do when I'm streaming though, because I'm embarrassed. When I'm streaming, I feel like I'm in public almost, so that's a different thing. But but when you're at your house, like, why do you have to do these things? Don't hold that chi in. You must release your chi. You must. Okay. Anyway. I wish I could simulate what it's like if you get a gift sub. I'll play the audio for if you get the gift sub. Here's what it sounds like. Wow. So if you get the 1% chance of a hero dose, then you get a free sub. Marissa doesn't know Beyblade because it was banned from LSD TV. I know Beyblade. It's the one where you. Fuck. Okay, I don't know. Okay, wait, no. It sounds familiar. I love how you said LSD instead of LDS. Bruh. No, I just didn't have Beyblades. What did I have? I had Barbies. I had Orbeez. I had, oh my gosh, did you guys have Floam? You guys have phloem? It's like Play-Doh, but different. The OG. The OG slime. That's what I had. This is fun. I had all those things. Those are some pleasant tones. Thank you. Thank you. So, yeah, but then when you mix all the colors together, it kind of turns a bit brown. Well, and especially because the particles just collect all the oil from your hands, and like slowly over. It's never as nice as when you first get it out of the package. And I remember like my family just had this old crusty giant phloem that we had combined all the different flavors. And that's what we played with. I would always tell my siblings, don't mix the colors, but they always wanted to mix them. The thing is, once you mix them, you can't go back. Permanent. Maybe it was a life lesson about the permanence of life. It's the first time you've seen phloem. Looks like it can contain asbestos. Maybe, I don't know. I was just thinking about this morning, like the things that I grew up with. It's remarkable that I've survived. I would not be surprised if it was banned in the EU. Well, it's literally like microplastic, Play-Doh, but microplastics. I don't know. I think that's what it's made of. It's basically styrofoam. So I would not be surprised if it was banned in the EU. But I don't know. I grew up with many things. All the food dies. All the food dies. All the plastic. All the fun. And look, I turned out fine. I'm great. No problems. No health problems at all. Yeah, but I don't know if I'd let my kids play with it. I'm going to be an almond mom. I'm going to be a crunchy mom. I don't think I'll let my kids play with this kind of stuff. Maybe. So it's just styrofoam bound together. Okay. I actually don't know what it's made out of. Well, look, we'll explore together. Let's look. What is phloem made of? Oop. What? Wait. This is saying these are DIY. They haven't released the recipe. Phloem is essentially clay plus polystyrene, aka styrofoam. Oh yeah, I was right. Styrofoam bound together with clay? That doesn't seem right. It's some sort of glue. Okay, well anyway, I think this is correct. So, anyway. Okay, shall we read? I think it might be time for us to read. We'll get into our reading slide. Unless somebody else had something they wanted to talk about. I did have a YouTube video that I wanted to discuss later, when the time is right. It is a political video though, so it might be a bit contentious. I'll give you a preview. Oh no, I don't want to give you a preview. You'll just have to wait and see. Yeah, I want to make sure the time's right. So it's always a hit and miss with YouTube videos. When I played the YouTube video about Shia LaBeouf, there were things I wanted to say, but I wasn't sure if I said them in the way I wanted to. So, okay, I'm gonna read chapter 6. So, for those who missed, this is a conversation between Arjuna and Lord Krishna. So Lord Krishna is basically God. Arjuna is, I would say like a general. He's the leader of an army, and he's considering whether or not to go to battle. What? What'd I say? Oh no. I'm reading this. It's happening. We might just read one chapter though. I'm not giving up. This is not like all those other times when I only read 5 chapters and then I gave up. I'm gonna be reading this. Okay. Krishna. Therefore, who doeth work rightful to do, not seeking gain from work, that man, O prince, is sannyasi and yogi both in one, and he is neither who lights not the flame of sacrifice, nor setteth hand to task. Regard as true renouncer him that makes worship by work, for who renounceth not, works not as yogin. So that is well said. Oh my gosh, my chair, you guys. This chair is not really helping with the vibe setting. Like I said, I feel if Marissa would have reading sessions with other people listening, and Eclecta and I would attend, she and us would not be able to contain our laughter. Okay, well... you know what? That's fine. Because according to the 4 agreements, nothing is personal. So whatever your entertainment value you get from this, I don't care. That's fine. You can gain humor entertainment, you can gain intellectual entertainment, you can gain I don't know. It's all fine. You guys be sitting in the back of the class just like hitting each other and being like Eclectic says, I agree with this, but I also take nothing seriously. You can't take me anywhere. Well, that's okay. I also tend to laugh at inappropriate times. And sometimes that's really fun though. When you have like a really good friend and once you get in that cycle of laughter, I remember during my undergrad, I had a really good friend who we would sit in lecture, and I don't even remember what the instructor said, but it was a lecture of 20 students, so it was like really small, and we just couldn't stop laughing. Like at one point, my friend, she just starts choking, like she tries to drink some water to like, change the vibe, and she just started choking. It's laughter is one of those things that once you try and stifle it, it just tries to come out 10 times harder. So Refly says, why does the 4 agreements sound like some terms of use of life? Maybe it is. The 4 agreements is basically like the New Age Bible. Yeah. And I liked it. I liked reading it. I thought there was some good wisdom in there. I don't ever read something where I'm like, this is the one truth. I usually read it and I'm like, that was cool. I'll integrate some aspects of this into my life probably. But I'm not going to like base my whole worldview and perspective on just one thing. Some people like to do that, and that's fine. Okay. I think I'm finally done being flustered. We're cool. Okay. Let each... Fuck me. I can't read today, you guys. Okay, I'm fine. I'm gonna read. Let each man raise the self by soul. Tweet says, let's eat. Yeah, let's eat. I'm ready. Reply said, see, we're not even there IRL and it already happens. Yeah. No, it's mostly just me playing mind games with myself. I'm crazy. I think I'm actually insane. Um, it's my social anxiety flaring up. But it happens. Nah, you just don't believe in yourself. That's a possibility. That's a possibility. The thing is, I get myself so worked up. Sam, I get myself so worked up. And so when it comes to like people I admire, I often don't know how to handle myself when I see them. And this happens with literally everyone. Like, this happened with Aristotle. The OGs know this. When Aristotle first came into my community, I freaked out. When Ivan first came into my community, I freaked out. Yeah. When I met it wasn't the prophet of the Mormon church, but it was one of the counselors, which is basically like the vice president, the vice president of the Mormon church. When I met him, that also happened. It's like this very severe anxiety that just takes over me, and being like, you need to say everything correctly, you need to do everything correctly, you need to, because it's difficult to explain. It's something I feel like I can't really control. It just happens. And it's not like the other person, it's not the other person's fault. It's completely all within my own head, and I just don't know sometimes how to deal with it. Because I will rehearse conversations in my head multiple times. I'll like anticipate. I'll be like, okay, if this person ever comes by, what will I say? And what will I do? And how will I say it? And what will their reaction be? And I'll go through the whole thing multiple times. I might be insane, you guys. We'll just start by saying that. But those who have social anxiety know that's just how it is. So, and even if I think that's the problem. It is like when you rehearse it over and over, you give it so much, you give the interaction so much weight, right? And so if the interaction doesn't go exactly how you thought it would, then your brain just like freaks the fuck out, you know? Eclectic said that's just anxiety things. It's just anxiety. It's just things. This is why we have our toys. This is why we have our little toys to regulate. Okay. And this is why we take deep breaths. We take deep breaths. We always in through the nose and out. You can do out through the mouth or out through the nose, depending on what you prefer, but you want to do it in through your nose, not in through your mouth. I mean, breathe the way you need to, and sometimes you can do the ocean breath. So when you contract the back of your throat, it sounds like an ocean when you breathe out. So you can go like that. Okay. Let each man raise the self by soul, not trample down his self, since soul that is self's friend may grow self's foe. Soul is self's friend when self doth rule over self, but self turns enemy of soul's own self, hates self, not as itself. What? Can I do this today? I don't know if I can do this today. I don't know if I have it in me. The self by soul not trample down his self, since soul that is self's friend may grow self's foe. So is self's friend when self doth rule over self, but self turns enemy of soul's own self, hates self and as not itself. Okay, back to reading. This made her laugh. It's a wrap. That's a wrap. I was not expecting that tongue twister. Self counter to 1 billion. The sovereign soul of him who lives self-governed and at peace is centered in itself, taking alike pleasure and pain, heat, cold, glory, and shame. He is the yogi, he is yukta, glad with joy and light and truth, dwelling apart upon a peak, with senses subjugate, whereto the clod, the rock, the glistering gold, show all as one. By this sign is he known, being of equal grace to comrades, friends, chance comers, strangers, lovers, enemies, aliens and kinsmen, loving all alike, evil or good. Drink every time she reads self. Yeah. Mostly I just want to be realistic. Perhaps it's oversharing, but that's just like who I am. So, if it freaks people out, then that's the compromise I have to make for not compromising myself. Sequestered should he sit, steadfastly meditating, solitary, his thoughts controlled, his passions laid away, quit of belongings. In a fair, still spot, having his fixed abode, not too much raised, nor yet too low, let him abide his... This is going to be a doozy. His goods, a cloth, a deer skin, and the You know what? How about we... Let's move over to our video. I think that's going to be a good option. Because my brain cannot turn off. Let's watch the video. Well, I'll be in a coma or with exploded bladders. Oh dear. Okay, I want to share this video. I'm not sure. Sam says you could do an audiobook. Yeah, that's true. And then I could listen to it. Normally I'd be able, no, and it's okay. Normally I'd be able to read it. I'm just like, high anxiety moment. Okay, so I saw this YouTube video. The problem is, like, I make it worse when I speak about it. There's this illusion that if you talk about it and talk things through, that makes it go away, but sometimes it like is a self-fulfilling and self-manifesting prophecy. So sometimes all you can do is like distract yourself with a video. So I saw this video, and I thought it was interesting. I'll just play it. I'm not even gonna give any context. We're just gonna play it.
Both sorts of billionaires, liberals and right-wing billionaires, want to protect capital at all costs, which is why someone like Bernie Sanders was equally excoriated by Democrats and Republicans. Although Trump said, I like Bernie, I kind of respect him, because I think that he recognized Sanders had a kind of authenticity that had no screen. I mean, Sanders has disappointed us in many ways, but he's unscripted. Look at the rest of the Democrats. They can't actually answer a simple question without having a focus group or a screen of consultants tell them the right things to say.
Hello, Catherine. Welcome to How the Light Gets In. You are a cultural theorist known for your work around class mainly. Your next book is about trauma. Can you briefly explain this topic and why it's important?
Well, I was really fascinated, but I should say appalled by the way in which trauma as an affliction and a concept has been instrumentalized by the liberal class of professionals, especially around the sort of very basis of their politics. And instead of just criticizing identity politics or woke politics, as some of my colleagues who I admire on the left have done, I thought we had to go deeper. And there was something about the rise of this kind of psychologization of suffering, as well as the gentrification of pain, that really struck me as being critical to the post-68 professional class elites. And one of the things that
what make this, and you don't have to agree with anything in the video. I just thought what made this video kind of interesting is I'd never heard somebody talk about things in this way. How talking about one's own trauma is almost seen as like a currency. Is Marissa on the larger video feed or the smaller one? I can't tell the difference. Huh? What? I think it resonated with me a lot because I felt like in the past, well, I feel like this is something I do all the time, is Sam says she's talking about something the right talks about all the time. This is what Vivek Ramaswamy wrote in A Nation of Victims. I'm not, I think it's a bit different than a conservative narrative. Tweet asks, how did you find this? It was just recommended to me in my YouTube. So if you look on Reddit, I was looking at like a Reddit post about it. We'll look at it later. Okay, brain working. So I think what she was talking about is using trauma as almost like a currency and saying, well, because this thing happened to me, therefore, that I can wear that as a badge of honor. I just thought it was really interesting because, like, for people like me, I don't think I've really ever experienced real trauma, but I almost feel motivated and like empowered to, well, I have to have had some trauma, because if I don't have trauma, then I am not a pure member of society. Sam says, when victimhood becomes a source of power, people will cultivate being a victim. That's exactly what that person talked about. Oh, interesting. Now, like we assign value to trauma. Yes, so that's kind of what's being explored. I guess I could play more of the video. It goes on for a few more minutes.
I think allowed them to eclipse the suffering of the working class and the question of exploitation was that they promoted at every single level, from psychology to feminism to medicine to politics itself. They promoted this idea that trauma was something that was cross-class as a phenomenon. And I also came of age in the time when human rights in the Cold War were very much dominant in politics. And this whole idea of trauma, I thought hypothetically, was in a way of positioning the American hegemon as the most enlightened force in the world that was going to help the world recover from the trauma of communism. Because the communists they were asychological, they didn't know how to deal with suffering, and especially during the end of the Cold War to the 1990s, there was an idea that the Holocaust was the greatest genocide in the world, the greatest atrocity in the world, and it was only the free world that was processing it, and that the recently liberated countries of the East had not looked at the trauma of the Holocaust as such. And I was really interested in how this ideology around the question of trauma and recovery, because there's a real script in terms of that, dominated every single aspect of the culture industry. And the trauma objectification only accelerated since COVID and since, the rise of kind of neoliberal liberalism, where trauma becomes content. Publishers were starved for it, and it comes out, and I trace a kind of intellectual history of trauma in the American culture industries as a function of both the end of the Cold War and the war of the professional classes against the working classes, because all ideas of suffering then had to go through this lens of suffering and recovery.
Just so you know, I'm
I was always
dissociating. I've been
interested in how
dissociating this entire
Americans
time, so I'm
and
not
English-
listening actually to anything she's saying. Fuck. It's so hard to control. It's so hard to control the dissociation. She's wearing 2 different socks. Wait, I didn't notice that. What? I didn't notice that. Wait, now I need to look at her feet. I
Well,
see that we are all
Americans, because we're all
dissociating in
Puritans
different
together,
ways.
focus on sexual violence rather than economic violence. And so in the book, I make the argument that
I didn't see that. No, no. This is a brace. She's wearing a brace, a foot brace, but that it kind of looks like she's wearing 2 different types of socks. She probably injured her foot. Okay. So where am I going with this? So I just think it's interesting because I feel like Westerners often focus on it's very easy for us to get caught up in problems that may not matter as much as we think they do. But also I feel like it's kind of a problem in our academic sphere. I remember when I was studying for my master's degree, international relations, I felt like I couldn't perform any research unless it had some sort of trauma behind it, if that makes any sense. Like, it has to be the most, I can't just write about China. I have to write about the most marginalized and persecuted and I don't know if that makes sense. I might just be rambling. But I had to, there had to be a okay. If I can't stop dissociating in the next 5 minutes, I think I might have to end stream. I'm so sorry. It's getting a bit too much for me. Because I do want to talk about this, but I need to be in the right mind space to be able to talk about it effectively, because I know that politics can be a very contentious issue. I love how my solution to I love how my solution to my anxious dilemma was to gravitate towards an extremely contentious topic. I think my solution should have instead been, let's watch this video about mushrooms. Let's watch this video about puppies and rainbows. Instead of trying to do some deep intellectual work and investigations. You could play some mahjong. I could. The problem is I have to. It's a completely different setup for that. Let's look at this mushroom. Look at this. This is crazy. I don't know what kind of mushroom this is. Here, I'm gonna play this. Meme break. We're all just happy to be here. Thank you. You're so nice. There reaches a point where, on my stream, I do want to be realistic of, things that go on, like, in my headspace, but I think there's a fine line between, like, casual vulnerability and, like, detrimental vulnerability. Something that's maybe detrimental to one's character. It's interesting. So some mushrooms, they don't have gills, they have pores. So like this one does, for example. It's kind of creepy. Looks like a Muppet mushroom. Yeah, I know. It's. Let's see if anybody's identified it. Oh yeah. It's an Australian mushroom species. Do they all look like this? Bolatellus. Ooh, yeah, see, look at those pores. Ooh. It's kind of spooky. Oh, that just looks... That just looks so... It looks alien almost. Sam says, what are you associating to if you're dissociating from this? My interactions in the beginning of the stream. That's what I'm associating to. I have this very intense desire to end the stream and go back and hyperanalyze everything that I said and everything that I did. And the problem is that, like, when I get this feeling, it's almost never as bad as what I imagine actually happened. But sometimes for peace of mind, I like to go back and just, like, make sure, you know what I mean? Like, that's one benefit of streaming that you don't often get from other interactions, is that it's time to call Marissa's dad. She does have autism. Yeah, why do you think I have the autism toy? It's not just for show. It's not just for my flaunting my trauma. No, but I think it can provide utility in the sense of, like with normal social interactions, you don't get the luxury of being able to replay the conversation and go back. But when you're a streamer, you get to do that. And that might not be a good thing. That might not be a good thing, honestly, because it's not the same as regular interactions. I'm not sure if humans should be allowed to... It's almost like a cheat. Like, you're able to go back and see how you reacted and then study it so that you can change your behavior in the future. So... Anyway. So... I'm currently breaking apart my toy. It's very fun to fiddle with. It's always important to have something to fiddle with. Eclectic said, I'm unsure if we might have triggered you here in chat, but from our end, these chats have felt so smooth and normal. Thank you, you're very kind. No, it's nothing that anybody in chat said. It's all me and my my mind games. My constant companion. I was looking at a previous VOD where I also talked about my anxiety in that one, and I referred to my anxiety as my house guest that never leaves. She's my house guest that will never leave. You're gonna call my dad? I don't know if my dad has the capability of diagnosing people. He does have his PhD in psychology, but I don't know, like, it's not clinical psychology. Yeah, it's true. It truly is the unwanted house guest. Sam asked, have you ever done insert pharmaceutical? I know I haven't. What is this? Oh, yeah, the only pharmaceutical I've ever tried has been Lexapro, and my experience with that was not very, not great. I don't know. I would rather just live unmedicated. As much as I do suffer, that's just life, I guess. I guess I've just decided that I'd rather suffer than live numb, if that makes sense. Some people would rather, like, and it's not necessarily going to be numb for everybody. But that's just, I think that's the only solution for me, is like I would have to have all my emotions be numbed. And I don't know, that doesn't sound ideal for me. Tweet asked, have you seen the movie Click? Oh, that's an Adam Sandler movie, isn't it? I think I read the plot synopsis of that one. It's a good portrayal on the concept of controlling time, like being able to go back and change certain things, right? Yeah, that is an interesting concept. Eclectic says, if it means anything, I'm too fearful to go to grocery stores because of how severe my anxiety is. Anxiety has absorbed my entire life and identity. So you're not alone, and especially as a streamer, these moments really do feel difficult in the moment. Thank you. That's very nice of you to say. Yeah. I don't mean to, like, I don't bring it up so that I get, like, sympathy or anything. I bring it up mostly just so people can see what it's like. Mostly just so I'm honest, so that if I start acting strangely, people don't know, and they don't know why, then now they know why. Okay. Should I keep reading? I really don't want to give up on this. I might, though. I don't want to. Cause you know, you guys know that feeling, right? Where you start all these books and you never finish any of them. I want to be able to say that I finished this book, you know. But perhaps I'll read it off stream. But then if I read it off stream, nobody knows that I read it. I have to have the proof. Reflex said, I used to have anxiety to go to the supermarket until I realized nobody observes you, as you don't observe others. Pixar, it didn't happen. Right. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I think it takes the realization that nobody scrutinizes you as much as you do for yourself, usually. Then again, it is easy to trick yourself out of that and be like, well, but I hyperanalyze other people. It's like, okay, sweetie, not everybody thinks about other people as much as you think about them. Like, you're a special case. Other people don't think about this as often. Same thing with the random things that pop into your head of 15 years ago. Oh, that's classic. Right as your head hits the pillow, you think of like the most embarrassing thing you've ever done. Yeah. Nobody remembers except you. Well, this is what Sam said earlier, and I think this is the root of the problem. The root of the problem is that there's not that underlying feeling of self-worth. Because if there was that, then it wouldn't be an issue. There wouldn't be any of these issues, because it wouldn't matter. Because I'd be able to say, well, I'm awesome. So if other people don't get that, then that's their fault. That's my ideal state. I would love to be that. Somebody who just like fundamental. This is why I'm studying. It's not like I'm not trying. I mean, I'm literally studying other people's behavior, trying to learn how they do it. And I'm asking them. And like this one streamer, she's super confident all the time. And she just says she's awesome and beautiful and special and like a goddess all the time. And I ask her how she does it, or I have been asking her. And I don't know, I think it's just going to be a permanent process. You could also say, well, I really failed, but that's not the end of the world. Yeah, perhaps there's an element of like a resistance to accepting an outcome. There's also an element of like clinging to an outcome. So if I don't have the outcome that I want, then I spend a long time like ruminating on it and complaining about it. And actually that in turn is a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? Because when you're clinging on to that, you're actually just making things so much worse. You're blowing things way out of proportion, right? Refly says, I'll say this, you know those people with all those books behind them? They probably have not even read 2% of all their books. I'm looking back at the books I have behind me. Eclectus says, I think you can think you're awesome, but also deal with anxiousness and such. I think we all tend to mask how hard things are for us internally. Maybe some of us are better at masking than others. That's where the autism comes in. I'm not very good at masking. Sam says, I have massively failed, but I can live with it because I know it will go away and it will be better later. Yeah, so like the longer you resist the truth, the longer you will suffer for. You can't go back and change what previously happened. You can't go back and change what you did. You can't change what you said. You can't change how you reacted. All you can do is decide, you know what, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop this, and going forward, I'm not gonna think about it anymore. Reflects that everybody on this planet who's not a psychopath deals with anxiety and self-doubt. Yeah. I guess I just wish people talked about it more. So I would feel less alone. That's why I talk so openly about it. But I have to realize that, like, not everybody wants that. Not everybody wants to do that. Some people have different goals. I've thought about, like, maybe you need to not be so open. Maybe you need to not be so vulnerable. Because if you want to have certain outcomes, that will probably get in your way. You have to play a character of some kind. I mean, it's in the same vein as that streamer who gets a lot of money from, like, flipping off the camera and, like, doing financial domination content. She's not being herself. She's being a character that's people enjoy watching and therefore pay. She becomes an abstract concept. She becomes a spectacle so that people can pay her. Eclectic said it's extremely likely that the people you are comparing yourself to, or that come off as perfect, are struggling just the same but are masking it. People should talk more about mental health and be more transparent. Yeah. I mean, I know that I have a tendency to put people on a pedestal. And I know that everybody struggles with these things. Warning, your therapy session tokens are at 50 minutes. And ads are coming, actually, by the way, in 5 minutes. I don't want to use my stream as a therapy session. I don't want to. Somehow it always happens, though. I don't know how to escape. I can't escape. It always happens. Fuck. Sam asked, why not? That girl would. Funny enough, a lot of people like helping others. Yeah, people are generally good. If you lean forward on your chair, you phase in and out of the universe. Yeah. Tweet says we compare our raw footage of others to others' final product. I constantly remind myself of that. Yeah. Yeah. I don't want anybody to think that I'm weird. But I know that when I do this, then that makes it weird. Right? Sam says the reason I'm here is because you're weird. Thank you. An interesting weird. I'm interesting weird too. Yeah, I do enjoy Sam coming to Sam's streams. I agree. You are interesting weird. I have no interest in listening to normies go about their day. Refly said, quick everybody, let's hold each other like the Ubuntu Linux logo. What? Wait, I'm looking this up. Huh. Oh, it's people holding hands. Cute. All hold each other like this. Let's all hold hands. Let's all hold hands. Eclectic said, I do my best to bring mental health into the conversation because I struggle extremely. It's nice to not feel alone and help others not feel alone. These raw and unplanned conversations make for the best streams. Thank you. I like our communities being weird. Yeah. I do too. I mean, like, I've always been somebody who enjoys, like, raw and unfiltered content. That's why I always enjoyed watching Trisha Paytas. I know that that's not a great example, but like in the past, like I really did feel as a teenager when I watched her, I really did feel like she did not care how other people perceived her. She just like would say literally anything that was on her mind, and she'd be like ugly crying on her kitchen floor. Like not just crying, not crying. This was like sobbing, snot coming down her nose, her entire face turned red, like choking on her tears. And I love watching that. I loved watching it because I was like, thank God Someone is a real person. I know that she's changed her content since then. She's gone full influencer. But when I was seeing that amidst all the other YouTubers, I was like, this was a breath of fresh air for me. Finally, someone's imperfect. Refly said, Raw is war. Oh wait, that was WWF wrestling. Oh my gosh. Okay, sorry, there's gonna be ads coming up soon. Have a good time during the ad break, and I'll see you later. I'll see you afterwards. I'm glad that we made it through. There was a point where I wasn't sure if I was gonna just hit stop stream. I was very close. So thank you. Thank you for helping me through. Helping me continue. Because what I would have done was just hit stop stream, start profusely sobbing, and then replay the interaction like 10 times. I mean, it might be delayed. It might just happen in a couple hours. Who knows? But if it does, then it's a bit less. It's like I have a bit more control over my emotional state. So, okay. Sequestered should he sit, steadfastly meditating, solitary, his thoughts controlled, his passions laid away, quit of belongings. In a fair still spot, having his fixed abode, not too much raised, nor yet too low. Let him abide his goods, a cloth, a deerskin, and the grass. There setting heart his mind upon the one, restraining heart and senses, silent, calm. Let him accomplish yoga and achieve pureness of soul, holding immovable body and neck and head, his gaze absorbed upon his nose end, wrapped from all around, tranquil in spirit, free of fear, intent upon his vow, devout, musing on me, lost in the thought of me, so devoted, so controlled, come to the peace beyond, my peace, the peace of high nirvana. Enlightenment, enlightenment. Something that was mentioned in the video previously was about how Westerners almost think that we are all supposed to be enlightened. We are the enlightened ones. And that stuck out to me. And it's like, do we really know better than anyone else? I don't think we do. We may have a lot more of our, physiological needs provided for, but I don't think we're any more enlightened than anybody else in the rest of the world. In fact, we might be in a worse state. So it kind of does make one question this whole idea of the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which I already know is pseudoscience, but I do rely on it a lot because I think it can be helpful conceptually. But in the sense of, I think there's plenty of people out there who don't have their lower level needs met, but they still also find ways to self-actualize. So just because you have everything in these lower levels doesn't mean that you're suddenly it's going to become so much easier and to self-actualize. I think that self-actualization can potentially happen independent of all these other things. I wonder if it needs to be considered in its own separate category. Refly said, can't we just hire entertainment wrestlers to tell the Bhagavad Gita story using promos and wrestling machine matches? You guys are all wrestling enjoyers. Wow. I haven't seen any wrestling. I'm a noob. I'm a wrestling pleb. I think It might have been because of my Mormon parents, but it might just also be like my culture. I don't know. We weren't allowed to see other people fight each other. But that's not necessarily a Mormon thing. I think there's plenty of Mormons who watch wrestling. But for earthly needs, religion is not his who too much fasts, or too much feasts, nor his who sleeps away in idle mind, nor his who wears to waste his strength in vigils. Nay, Arjuna, call that the true piety which most removes earth aches and ills, where one is moderate in eating and in resting, and in sport, measured in wish and act, sleeping betimes, waking betimes for duty. So it's not, we don't just have to be, pious and meditate all the time. It is possible to be a bit too, what's the word? Pious. I don't know. There was one word, a different word. Somebody who sacrifices a lot for their religious beliefs. It is possible, but to be too much of that. It needs to be a balance of both. When the man so living centers on his soul the thought, straitly restrained, untouched internally, by stress of sense, then he is yukta. See, steadfast a lamp burns sheltered from the wind. Such is the likeness of the yogi's mind, shut from the sense storms and burning bright to heaven. When mind broods placid, soothed with holy want, the self contemplates self, and in itself hath comfort. When it knows the nameless joy beyond all scope of sense, revealed to soul, only to soul, and knowing wavers not, true to the farther truth. When holding this, it deems no other treasure comparable, but harbored there cannot be stirred or shook by any gravest grief. Call that state peace, that happy severance yoga. Call that man the perfect yogi. I had something I wanted to say, but I forgot. Steadfastly the will must toil thereto, till efforts end in ease, and thought has passed from thinking, shaking off all longings bred by dreams of fame and gain, shutting the doorways of the senses close, with watchful ward. So step by step it comes, to gift of peace assured and heart assuaged, when mind dwells self-wrapped, and the soul broods cumberless. But as often as the heart breaks, wild and wavering, I just lost my spot because I looked at myself. I looked at myself in OBS to make sure I didn't look like I was wanting to I'm enjoying this, despite how my outward appearance may appear. Okay, where's my spot? To gift of peace assured and heart assuaged, when the mind dwells self-wrapped and the soul broods cumberless. But as often as the heart breaks, wild and wavering, from control, so oft let him recurb it. Let him rein it back to the soul's governance. For perfect bliss grows only in the bosom tranquilized, the spirit passionless, purged from offense, vowed to the infinite. He who thus vows his soul to the supreme soul, quitting sin, passes unhindered to the endless bliss of unity with Brahma. He so vowed, so blended, sees the life soul resident in all things living, and all living things in that life soul contained. And whoso thus discerneth me in all, and all in me, I never let him go, nor looseneth he hold on upon me. But dwell where he may, whatever his life, in me he dwells and lives, because he knows and worships me, who dwell in all that lives, and cleaves to me in all. This is interesting. It's got very biblical language. Oh, thank you so much for being here, Tweet. I hope you have a good rest of your day. We'll see you next time. Insert LA Noir doubt meme. Oh dear. who dwell in all that lives and cleaves to me in all. Arjuna, if a man sees everywhere, taught by his own similitude, one life, one essence in the evil and the good, hold him a yogi, yea, well perfected. I mean, I think ultimately it just depends on your... Something that I learned with streaming is ultimately it doesn't matter what you do, as long as you enjoy what you're doing. You can make anything extremely boring for yourself or extremely entertaining for yourself. It all just depends on your mindset. And so sometimes, like, during my stream, I try and evaluate, like, okay, is this currently something I'm enjoying? And is that translating across? And if not, then maybe I can change what I'm doing. Every time I hear yogi, I think of Yogi Bear. Yogi is kind of like the word for somebody who does yoga is my understanding. So when I think of yogi, I think of myself. Sam says Bhagavad Gita is older than the Bible, so really the Bible has Gita language. Ah, well, there you go. New Testament, anyways. Yeah, I guess that's true. It's a lot of like, verily, verily I say unto you. That was very common in the Bible. Oh, congratulations, you found a chanterelle mushroom. Delicious. By the way, there's a 30% chance that you'll find a poisonous mushroom and get timed. Unfortunately, Tweet found a poisonous mushroom and got timed out for 30 seconds. Okay. Arjuna. Slayer of Madhu, yet again this yoga, this peace, derived from equanimity, made known by thee, I see no fixity therein, no rest, because the heart of men is unfixed. Krishna, rash, tumultuous, willful and strong, if it were all one, I think, to hold the wayward wind, as tame man's heart. Krishna, hero long-armed, beyond denial, hard man's heart is to restrain and wavering, yet it may grow restrained by habit, by want of self-command. This, I say, cometh not lightly to the ungoverned ones, but he who will be master of himself shall win it, if he stoutly strived thereto. Arjuna, and what road goeth he who, having faith, fails in the striving, falling back from holiness, missing the perfect rule? Is he not lost, straying from Brahma's light, like the vain cloud which floats twixt earth and heaven, when lightning splits it and it vanisheth? Fain would I hear thee answer me herein, since, Krishna, none save thou can clear the doubt. Okay, we've got one paragraph left of chapter 6. Krishna, he is not lost, thou son of Pritha, no, nor earth nor heaven is forfeit even for him, because no heart that holds one right desire treadeth the road of loss. He who should fail, desiring righteousness, cometh at death unto the region of the just, dwells there measureless years, and being born anew, beginneth life again in some fair home amid the mild and happy. It may chance he doth descend into a yogi house, on virtue's breast, but that is rare. Such birth is hard to be obtained on this earth. So hath he back again what heights of heart he did achieve, and so he strives anew to perfectness, with better hope, dear prince. For by the old desire he is drawn on unwittingly, and only to desire the purity of yoga is to pass. By the way, I subconsciously, as I'm reading this, I'm skipping entire lines. If I just decide that I can't read it out loud, I'm sorry. I do this when I'm reading books as well. Like if there's something where I'm like, I'm not even gonna try, I just like, I skip past it. Oops. But being yogi, striving strong and long, purged from transgressions, perfected by births, following on births, he plants his feet at last upon the farther path. Such as one ranks above ascetics, higher than the wise. Oh, that's what I was thinking of. Asceticism. Asceticism. Beyond achievers of vast deeds. Be thou yogi, Arjuna, and of such believe, truest and best is he who worships me with inmost soul, stayed on by my mystery. Okay, we are done with chapter 6. Yeah, I don't think I'll be able to do another chapter. But yeah, have I gained any new knowledge? Not really. Sometimes in periods of my life, I'm unsure of whether I should gain more knowledge or gain more action. Do more action. I know that Bear, who's a lovely member of this community, was going into something called drama triangles, which I had never heard of before, but I thought it was super fascinating. If he ends up showing up, then I could have him, he can definitely explain it better than me. But it's kind of like a way we manifest drama to keep showing up in our life over and over and over and over, depending on which role we tend to fill. And you can be a mix of all three. You can be just one. So there's the three different roles. So there's the persecutor, there's the victim, and there's the rescuer. I tend to land in the victim, where it's kind of like, poor me. You feel powerless. You dream. Dream lost or denied. You feel like everybody else is doing better. The victim disparages oneself. They feel helpless and hopeless. They reject, complain, manipulate. I can't do it on my own. They avoid responsibilities to feel inferior. So depending on which role you are, you can actually, the way to kind of escape and get out of it is to do the opposite, except it's more empowering. So, for example, if you tend to fall in the victim role, you can instead reframe it as being a creator. So, not reframe it, but like actually try and create things instead of feeling helpless and feeling bad about yourself. Like, actively focus on the outcome of things. Again, I'm not as familiar as I should be. I'm still kind of looking at it. But the persecutor, for example, instead of blaming people, tearing people down, you can instead be a challenger. So somebody who does more constructive criticism. If you're a rescuer, you can instead become a coach, someone who's more supportive and assistive, instead of like somebody who sweeps in and just solves people's problems. I definitely know people who are rescuers. Eclecte says, I don't like mine. Yeah, it's this is not like the one truth, but I did find it helpful to think about why I keep ending up with the problems that I do. This is especially true for interpersonal conflict. This is often where it arises, but I can just see this happening in general. So all these different characteristics. I've noticed I completely lost my train of thought. I don't remember. But anyway, so I thought that was interesting. Okay, I'm gonna click off. Where was I going with that? Oh, I was going with so because I fall into the victim role, my responsibility and my solution is to become a very creative person, hopefully. And like creating things that you see in your external things that you can be proud of, I guess, is my understanding. Taking steps to change your situation instead of sitting back and being like, well, it's hopeless. Sam asked, have you tried DBT? Oh, I heard about that the other day. Somebody mentioned it as Buddhism light or something, and I thought it was funny. You might not share that opinion. Oh, okay, it is Buddhism light. Okay. So they were correct. Dialectic behavior therapy. A type of talk therapy specially adapted for people who experience emotions very intensely. Okay, so it's different than cognitive, or it's based in cognitive behavioral therapy. Sam says it's Buddhism turned into Western mental health. Especially effective for people who have difficulty managing and regulating their emotions. Yeah. Can treat borderline personality disorder, self-harm, suicidal behavior, a lot of different things. Yeah, I guess ultimately, it's a question of like, what do I want to achieve? And is my mental health holding me back from doing that? Having mental health conditions, it's very strange. It's so weird. Because sometimes it feels simultaneously like you could just change your mind like that if you wanted to, but you don't want to. I don't know if that makes sense. It just feels like I have certain tendencies, I have certain habits that I can see the way out, but I choose not to take that way. I choose not to open the door and walk out. I choose to sit in it. It's a choice. It's a choice that I make constantly. And I've constantly come back to the idea of, well, if I just didn't make that choice, I will always have the choice. And eventually, when I actually do want to choose not to, I will. But most of the time, I decide, I'm like, well, it's easier just to choose not to. It's easier just to deal with it, just to suffer, if that makes sense. Sam says, I have depression and anxiety and trauma. I don't think it's weird. Well, I don't think it's weird either. I think it's, honest. If I'm being honest with you, I don't think there's such thing as neurotypical. At least not in the sense that people pass it off. I think that, like, neurodivergence, yeah, I mean, isn't everybody neurodiverse? Isn't every mental health condition on a spectrum? Right? You might have a little bit of a bunch of different conditions. I don't think there's anybody who's like perfectly mentally well. I don't know. Maybe there are. I just don't know what it's like to be that way. It just seems like there's so many more people that are diverse than not diverse. It does relate to the video that I was playing, kind of in the sense of like how these days a lot of people use the term neurodivergent as kind of a badge of honor, or as like a, you know, if you're not neurodivergent, then you're not cool. If you're not neurodivergent, then you're not part of the group that suffers. And suffering is what makes people pure. And that's the underlying criticism I have, I guess. And it's okay if you don't agree. It's just something I've been observing. It just seems like it's used by many people to kind of just to signify strength, to signify, it's not like power, it's kind of just like a status symbol. Like I said, I think if diagnosed, it doesn't mean it's permanent. Yeah, I think that with most conditions, they can be changed for the better or for the worse. Sam says, technically, I was diagnosed with oppositional defiant disorder. I haven't heard of that one. I don't think I meet criteria for it anymore. Oh, interesting. So you've and I'm not in any way trying to discount people's experiences. That's not what I'm doing. Interesting. Basically being an asshole. Sam says, I just think that being on the ends of the bell curve is being on the end of the bell curve. There are positives and negatives to every position on the bell curve. It's technically not, but also kind of is. Well, it's kind of what I meant when I said, like, it always feels like there's a choice, but we end up choosing not to every time. And I don't mean choosing, I mean like the possibility of changing your situation is always there, but you don't take it for whatever reason. Like I said, I have borderline personality disorder and OCD. Both I've heard can be healed, but so far I'm not healed. Sam says, the funny thing is that there's 3 groups of kids who fit ODD. The kids who are assholes because of trauma. The kids who are assholes because they're so much smarter than those around them that they don't realize what they're doing. And then number 3, the kids who are just assholes. What causes the kids just to be assholes? I'm guessing it's just ignorance. I mean, like, people being unaware of how they affect others. Some people really are just that way. It's not a large group, but there's some. I've been having this conversation with my husband recently, and him and I don't see eye to eye. He thinks there's people out there who are genuinely just assholes just to be assholes. And I don't know. I've never met somebody who's an asshole just because. Like, I don't know, somebody who's just like, they act out of genuine malice just because they can. I feel like there's always an explanation. I don't feel like there's anybody who's truly evil out there. Perhaps I'm naive. Actually, I will say that I probably am naive. I just haven't met them yet. I haven't met anybody who is actively trying to harm others for their own personal gain only. Perhaps I should consider myself lucky in that regard. My husband frequently reminds me that there's people in other countries that would like to do a lot of harm to me, just because I am American. And even that concept is quite foreign to me. It's just unfathomable to me that somebody would want to hurt me just because of where I live. Eclectic says, I think it's wonderful that you haven't met any of those types of people this far. Yeah. I think it definitely puts me at risk of being manipulated. Because I try and see the good in everybody, but maybe there are people out there who truly do want to take advantage of me. So I do have to be careful. Sam says, imagine this. There are some people out there whose sexual pleasure is wired into experiencing pain. There are others who it's wired into inflicting pain. If there could be such a wide variety in how it is wired in their brain, why not wiring to be an asshole? Right. I think my problem is I have a hard time empathizing with people. Like I find it almost impossible to empathize with other people, or imagine what it's like to be them. Like when somebody says, well, just imagine what it would like to be in this person's shoes. I take it literally, and I fundamentally cannot imagine myself being them, because it's impossible to be them. I don't have the wiring, I don't have the capability of actually being them, so I'll never know what it's like to be them. It's impossible. I think it might just come down to a communication error. Sam says, what if you're the person on the bell curve who's just really bad at it? The way there's people who are bad at math. No, bad at empathizing? Yeah. Yeah, that's probably true. Sam says, I think Trump is wired to get off on tricking others, for example. I genuinely don't know. I don't know what goes through his head. There's definitely times where I think, I'm like, how can these... I definitely have these thoughts of like, how can these people possibly live with themselves? That's the problem. I can't empathize. Because I'm imagining myself in their shoes. I am imagining myself in their shoes, but I'm not imagining myself with their brain chemistry. And that's the issue. So I'm like, what would I do in that position? It's like, I wouldn't do any of that. But that's not actually empathizing. That's just me being them. So I do ask myself those questions, like, how can that person live with themselves with the way that they act? You know, how can they go to sleep at night? The conclusion I usually reach, and the conclusion I usually tell myself, is that they simply are just so ignorant to their own, the consequences of their own actions. And that's usually the conclusion that sits right in my mind. That's the only logical conclusion, is that they just simply have no idea what they're doing. Again, I haven't met somebody who does bad things just because. It's one of those things like when you try and explain to a blind person how to see, you can't, because they fundamentally don't have the experience of doing that. I fundamentally don't have the experience of being manipulated like that. Being the victim of that type of manipulation. Sam says you should go to a BDSM party and just watch people. Watching someone get whipped so badly they are bleeding and screaming, and then watching them fall in a puddle of joy is bizarre. Yeah, you mentioned you're part of that community. I will say something related to that, Sam, is this might be related, I'm not sure. The streamer that I'm hyperfixated on. Again, I have these hyperfixations. I think I'm crazy. But she, like, in her Discord, she posted a picture that I was laughing so fucking hard. I was laughing so hard, I was like choking. Because I couldn't tell if it was serious or not. I couldn't tell if... I won't show the picture because obviously it's a private Discord, so it's not my place to show other people's stuff, but I'm pulling it up right now, and she posted a picture of a man who's shirtless, in some shorts. He's bent on a bed. He has an apple in his mouth. And the caption that she put underneath it was, "My property, guys." This random ass dude, she posted a picture, and everybody in her community was like, "What?" No, I don't know why she did that. I don't know if it's a joke. I don't think it's a joke. I think this person probably paid her to do that. That's the only logical explanation, is that they wanted her to do that. And I have a really hard time wrapping my head around why somebody would want to be humiliated like that. But I do understand that that can be a thing. That is a thing. It was interesting to see the contrast, because she streamed with one of her friends, and it was the financial domination content. So she was like speaking in a certain way towards the camera. She was speaking in a certain tone, in a certain she was like, "Come on, pay up." She was like, she was being very serious and dominating. She's filling her role. She's filling the role she's supposed to. And her friend was sitting there too and having a really hard time. Like, she kept breaking character and like laughing. Well, she was on the verge of laughing, and I could also see that she was shaking a bit because she didn't... I mean, it's kind of strange. It's kind of strange. It's, when you really think about it, like, if you can get somebody to pay you $5 for flipping off the camera, I don't know, I think about people in other countries looking at that and seeing that that's how the Americans are getting paid, is by literally not even it's all these abstract concepts that we create for ourselves in order to receive pleasure, and that's, somebody's spending all day working in a factory or in a field and working for their own money, and yet there's somebody here who earns money. I just think it's an absurd. I'm not saying like one person deserves it more than another. That's not my determination to make. But it is very interesting to think about. So that shows how naive I am, Sam. And Sam, you are much more integrated into this community, and like, I don't want to be disrespectful, and that's my problem sometimes, is because I don't know, I fundamentally I'm very sheltered, and so when I'm learning and discovering these things, sometimes I'm like, it comes off as being disrespectful, but really it just means like I've never genuinely been exposed to this type of interrelational dynamic. Eclectic says, I've gotten private messages regarding findom, but I've declined. That's interesting. I haven't gotten one specifically related to that, but I have definitely gotten like invitations to become a sugar baby. I declined that. Yeah. But women have it so easy. Do we? Do we really? I don't know. It's different. It's different problems. All right, the monthly thing. Never mind. Yeah, exactly. No, I just think it's all it's different problems. I don't think one problem necessarily needs to be put over another. They're just different. Oh no, your computer restarted. Oh, and I have a tonsil stone. Hold on 1 second. Okay, I'm back. Alright, sorry, I'm back. There we go. Because she's a woman, she could probably... Ew, I think there's a limit. Well, okay, never mind. I take that back. I was watching I saw a Reddit post the other day. Someone complaining about women or people who use bidets because it makes it more it erases certain nice characteristics of eating ass. Everybody likes different things. And who am I to judge? Who am I? I'm not judging anybody. I'm not judging anybody for their... And should we monetize that? Like, if the demand is there, shouldn't we just supply it? Yeah. I am, Sam. Thank you. That's me. That's all I am. Someone messaged me asking to be my money pig. And it's always the pig. It's always the pig imagery. Yeah, because the man had an apple in his mouth, and that's what a pig, you know. There's chatters who show up, and they're the ones who pay a lot of money, and they call him the money pig. Yeah, it's just fascinating. I fear that I just haven't explored my own sexuality enough. You know. So maybe the more I do that, the more I will understand. I'm trying to watch Sex in the City. Sex in the City is like my my introduction. it takes some time. I mean, I wasn't allowed to watch Sex in the City, obviously. Now I'm watching it, and I'm seeing these women who are just so confident about their sexuality. It can be very empowering. You know, actually, one line from the movie was from the TV show is really interesting. It's about Samantha, character Samantha, who she actually tends to. Well, maybe I shouldn't mention that. Refly said, I saw a documentary once. It's usually men with a lot of money that can buy anything they want. So they want somebody to have control over their money. I see. Well, yeah, definitely from seeing how much they donate, it definitely suggests to me that they've got a lot of disposable income. I mean, what do you do once you have all your needs met? What's left? This was something I was thinking about recently, about how our biology does not did not anticipate having all of our needs met. Like, once we have all of our needs met, we have shelter, we have food, we have social connection, we have everything that our body is designed to seek out. What are we supposed to do after that? What are we supposed to do? And I don't think that's been included in our wiring. Eclectic says, I am not opposed to these things in general, but I don't really want my streaming experience to intertwine with that content. Yeah, Eclectic, it's been really interesting to see how this streamer handles it, because during the day, she's got a specific audience who just joins literally to watch her, like, play Roblox and, like, have casual chatting, and, like, as if it was your friend. You're hanging out with your friend, who's, you know, she's a bit younger. She's, like, I think she's 21. Like, this classic Gen Z, like, hanging out in their bedroom, like, with, like, doing, like, K-pop dances and, like, playing Roblox and doing all that. And that's, like, most of her content. But when it comes to be 11 p.m., 12 p.m., suddenly her content shifts into financial domination. And it's almost like a jarring experience, especially for her audience, her casual audience, because sometimes her regular audience will be tuning in and they'll see people pay her, they'll see her demeanor completely change to get this money. And it's really fascinating to watch, especially and like the people who watch her in her Discord, that join her Discord, are mostly the people who are just there for casual, consumption. But then she'll post this financial domination content, and like everybody will be really confused. I mean, people can do whatever they want. People can do, and I kind of almost admire her confidence to just be like, I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna do what I want, and whatever people want to watch, they can watch. Whatever they don't want to watch, they don't watch. I think I'd like to incorporate at least a little bit of that. Not like the full aspect, but like maybe a little piece of it. Yeah, so some people want to feel lesser again when they already have everything. Well, this is kind of related to the video I was trying to share earlier. I wasn't doing a great job of explaining it, but sometimes I do wonder, like, if the reason why not a lot of things are being accomplished is because people fall into the trap of like constantly comparing their trauma to everybody else. I feel like that's what Americans do, and therefore social change doesn't really occur. there's not really this development of class consciousness because everybody's too busy comparing how much they are oppressed to everyone else. It's like a competition of how much you're being oppressed. I work a 9 to 5. Well, I work a 9 to 5 and I have 2 kids. Well, I work a 9 to 5 and I have 2 kids and also an abusive husband, and I also have this and this and this and this. Sam says, I can tell you, people who focus on victimhood and disability rarely get much done, in my experience. And this is not like a criticism of individual people. It's a criticism of the culture. And it almost just feels like there's a cycle that needs to be broken out of, a cycle of suffering. Sam says, I watch it in my staff, I watch it in clients, I see it in friends, and it's not on the left and right. Yeah, that's another thing that I was trying to... Thank you. Some more tea. That's another thing I was trying to mention. This isn't... I don't think this is a liberal or conservative issue. I think it's just a everything issue. I don't tend to associate myself with either side. I tend to try and see the whole picture as a whole, and like how we can change things. So anyway, I might read her book, but then again, would that be the useless accumulation of knowledge? I need to do more and focus on gaining knowledge less. The problem is you gotta gain the knowledge in order to know what to do. So when you're at the stage where you don't know what to do, like what action to take, who to help, why, then that's when you can gain more knowledge. So gain the knowledge first, then do. Yeah, don't get stuck in the knowledge gaining phase, however easy it might be. It can be very easy to stay in that phase. I guess I thought that in my church that would be the opportunity to give back to my community, but that didn't end up being what I thought it was. So I guess I'm back to square one. I'm gonna spend my time looking for other communities, other ways I can help. I'm still doing like my English teaching, like teaching ESL, not very often, but sometimes. And I think I just need to do more. I try to be conscious about like the items that I buy, the companies I buy them from. I try to be nice to people in my close community. If somebody were to come to me and ask for help, I would help them. But sometimes I do get stuck in where I don't know what's left to do, or like where I would be the most efficient at helping. Sam says, I believe spending time trying to pay attention to who is canceled and who isn't is wasting your life. No, I do agree with that. I do agree with that. Because ultimately that's not doing anything. If you happen to know something about someone or a company, fine, cancel them. I do think more compassion is necessary. More compassion is necessary for people. I'm not saying we should excuse anybody's behavior. And because we shouldn't make excuses for people's behavior, and justice should also be done. But also, yeah, you can get stuck in the keeping track of everyone. I think it can come down to, like, if you, for example, are talking about somebody and they end up being kind of a shitty person, and somebody tells you, hey, that was a shitty person, then you can be like, oh shit, my bad, I didn't know. I don't know, like, okay, for example, let me make sure, I don't know if I want to mention this. No, I'll mention it. For example, today I was in a stream where somebody mentioned to the streamer that they bought a specific product from a specific company. And they were excited about it. They were like, oh my gosh, yay, I have this new machine. It's going to help me do this. And the streamer immediately was like, well, you just supported Israel. And I want to be careful about what I say, but I think it is important to stay informed about, like, where your products come from, but you can't always know. You can't always know exactly. You can't, because I went to the company's website afterwards and I looked, and it was not immediately clear that that was the case. And the person just ended up feeling pretty shitty. And at that point, it's like, what do you do? I get the reasoning behind it. I get why. It's just, I feel like we need to have more compassion and more grace for each other. Like, it doesn't make you a bad person if you accidentally bought something. And I don't even know if the company is like, I think it just happens to be a company that happens to be in that country. I don't think it's necessarily like sponsored by the government of that country, But people get a bit too like I had a fellow student who, she dropped a class because the professor was from Israel. Not because he was saying positive things about the administration, not because of any of his political beliefs, but simply because the fact that he was from that country. Tell me how that's right. I don't think that's right. I think that that's going way too far. So basically my intention is just to be like, I feel like we should just have more compassion. There needs to be less of this competition of like who's more virtuous and who's more informed about every little thing, and more about like, how can we help people around us. You don't choose where you're born or who you are. Exactly. It would be different. It would be different if somebody, was voicing a lot of like certain political opinions and like making their stance known on like the persecution of the people in Gaza, that would be different. If somebody dropped a class because the professor was saying that the persecution of the people in Gaza was justified, then yeah, that would be a great reason to drop the class. Be like, no, fuck that. But it can't be like you see that the person happens to be born in a specific country and you discriminate against them because of that. It can't be like, that's going too far. Sam says, I had someone steal $50K from me. I had a strong case and probably could have gotten that $50K back. Wow. I decided not to do that. Almost everyone I knew was shocked, and I even lost friends because they felt like I was being a pushover. The thing is, could I have won that money back? Yes. But it would have consumed a year of my life in a vicious legal battle that I wasn't even guaranteed to win. I looked at my time and my sanity and decided my time and sanity was worth more than the justice of $50K. Yeah, the concept of justice is really complex. Because a lot of it's about like sending a message, right? Sending a message that behavior is not acceptable and shouldn't be done again in the future. But also, like, is it up to you to carry the entire justice system on your shoulders? Carry that responsibility on your shoulders. Sam says the American legal system has nothing to do with justice, by the way. That's fair. Yeah, these days it's feeling less and less like that. Justice does still... I think it's important to seek justice for certain things. Like, I don't know, my husband helps a lot of people with like landlord-tenant issues, or like fraud, you know, people being defrauded by like their insurance company or like a used car company or something. I think in that case, like, that institution is probably harming a lot of people, and they count on people to not fight back. And so, like, if you push back against them, then that might help show them that they can't do that. They can't just do that to anybody. But sometimes you're limited in how much you can change circumstances. Oh, okay, no problem, Sam. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being here through all of it. Through all the weirdness. Because there's a lot of it. There's a lot. Eclectic said, I felt the same when I could have sued my old job, but I didn't want to deal with all that time and energy. Your panic attack was interesting to watch. Thank you. It wasn't a full-blown panic attack, but it was definitely very close to one. It's kind of worsened. It was kind of worsened by the fact that I didn't want anybody to feel like they caused it, because they're always like internally caused. They're always internally caused. So like, it doesn't matter whoever like caused it. It was caused by me. Me and my perception of other people. But it does make it worse when I feel like the person who potentially like is witnessing it. It's like, oh my god, that's the risk of being vulnerable, is that like you may be perceived as being like just an absolute crazy person and a creep. And that's the last thing I want. That's the last thing I want. I don't get to control how other people perceive me, though. That's the thing. I don't get to control how other people perceive me. And it's the fact that I think I can control how other people perceive me that causes most of these issues in the first place. So, Sam says, and I'm not working, so it's not like I'm responsible for you right now, as if I was working. Well, yeah, and I hope you never feel that way, Sam. Like, that is one thing that worries me sometimes about people, certain people in my community who happen to fill the role of therapist. I don't want you to ever feel like you have to fill that role for me, because you're not working. You're here for entertainment purposes, and that's what I want to provide everybody. I'm not here to like take things from people. I'm here to give things to people, hopefully. I don't know. Sometimes therapy is entertainment. Oh, interesting. Sometime we could stream and I'll be on mushrooms and you can just play around with my mind if you want. That could be interesting. You truly enjoy the gossip sometimes. That's one thing that's kind of tempted me before. I've asked myself, like, I wonder if I should become a therapist. I do like listening to other people share their trauma, share their things that happen to them. That's one component, but the other component that I'm not sure if I could provide is you also have to be able to have some personal investment, but not too much, because you want to help the person, you want to empower the person to change their situation. Right? So Sam says, I get a ton from just seeing what other people want to explore about my mind. Oh yeah, I get that too. I like investigating people's minds pretty deeply. Sam says, become a therapist because it's the best way to practice mental health skills. It's like the addict working in drug treatment. Yeah, I'm sure that's a common misconception that people have about therapists, is that therapists are all like perfectly mentally well and have never had a mental illness before. But actually, on the contrary, I feel like therapists who have had mental illness or even are actively experiencing one can sometimes give important insights that people who don't know wouldn't be able to. Like, for example, like I've had therapists in the past who I knew had no idea what I was going through. They had absolutely no idea or concept of what it felt like to be me. Now that could be like, some people could have the skill of being able to imagine it, having empathy, without even having experienced it before. Or they've had the experience before, so therefore they know. The people I worked with had neither. And it can be really, really discouraging if you ever get a therapist like that. When you feel like they're not grasping what you're telling them. And it seems like all they're doing is trying to like prescribe a certain medication for you, or like have a specific outcome that you don't really want to have. So anyway, okay, so I'm trying to decide what I want to do. Do I want to keep watching this video, or do I want to keep reading my thing? I wasn't getting much from either. Maybe I'll keep reading. And maybe while I dissociate as I'm reading.
Accept yourself.
So true.
It starts with you.
Starts with you.
It starts with you.
By the way, I was thinking about having it something I add to my overlay that shows the foraging, the like advertises the foraging. We'll see. It's still in the early stages. Still in the early stages. I know there's other streamers out there who have something similar, and they also have something like a trading card function, where it like can show how many different types of mushrooms people have foraged on stream. I think that could be interesting. But also at the same time, I don't want to make it seem like I'm copying anybody else's stream stuff. You know what I mean? I mean, it's said that that imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. But that can also be kind of awkward when the person you imitated knows about it. Go copy. Live, play, enjoy. Try. Thank you, Sam. Yeah. Yep. There's a certain mind state that I achieve sometimes. And when I achieve it, oh boy, is it nice. And I do wish I could dwell in that for the longest time. But I mean, would I really be able to appreciate it if I had the same mindset all the time? If I didn't have my mental illness, would I be able to appreciate being mentally well? Probably not. Because I wouldn't know what it's like to not have that state of mind. So, in some ways, I like to see my anxiety as a gift. I get to have more spiciness, more diversity in my experience, which sometimes sucks. It sometimes sucks really bad, but it also sometimes is very fun and good. And maybe some people don't get to experience how fun and good life is the same way that I do. So I don't think I'd trade my brain for anybody else's brain. Regardless, I mean, even with everything that I experience, I don't think I'd trade my life or my brain. As much as I've wanted to escape it sometimes. I have wanted to escape it, but that's not how I feel now. Okay. Krishna. Learn now, dear prince, how if thy soul be set ever on me, still exercising, still making me thy refuge, thou shalt come most surely unto perfect hold of me. I will declare to thee that utmost lore, whole and particular, which when thou knowest, leaveth no more to know here in this world. Of many thousand mortals, one, perchance, striveth for truth, and of those few that strive, nay, and rise high, one only, here and there, knoweth me, as I am, the very truth. Ah, I see. So he's saying, like, 1 out of 1,000 people might start on the journey of enlightenment. And then out of those few people, only a few people will know enlightenment. The question always comes, what does one do after enlightenment, though? It's not often addressed. I've heard that saying, chop wood and carry water. Of many thousand... Oh, let's see, I already read that one. Earth, water, flame, air, ether, life, and mind, and individuality, those 8 make up the showing of me, manifest. These be my lower nature, learn the higher, whereby, thou valiant one, this universe is, by principle of life, produced, whereby the words of visible things are born, as from a yoni. For example, last night I achieved that state of consciousness. And if I'm to be honest with you, I'll just be honest. It was with the help of alcohol. That is just what helps me get into a certain mind state where I feel like I can give love infinitely. I know what it feels like. It's so funny to me. You'll take out. I know. It's literally. Yeah, I'm weird. I refuse to take pharmaceuticals, and yet I'll drink. I'm trying to drink less. I'm trying to drink a lot less. I actually cut my drinking in half these days, so I'm pretty happy about that. And eventually I'm going to not drink at all. But it does help me reach that state of mind, which I like. And it's it's guaranteed every time. It's guaranteed I'll reach it. This state where like I feel like I could reach out to anybody. I always want to reach out to everybody and send them a really nice message. I want to call my parents. I want to call my grandparents. I want to, and I'm not drunk. I'm just like, it's usually only after a couple of drinks. It's just like, it's like all those previous social anxiety barriers are gone. They've all been eliminated. The thought doesn't even cross my mind of what other people might think about me. And that could be nice. And so I don't think twice about what I say to people or why. I just send it. I send the love. And then I receive it back. And that's really nice. If I could just be like that all the time. If I could just be like that all the time. If things weren't so difficult all the time. But they have to be difficult. That's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. Wow, that sounds awful. Just sending nice and love out to the world. Wait, what do you mean? I mean, yeah, obviously it sounds good. Glad your normal... well, glad your normal sober self is scared of doing that. I couldn't tell you why that is. I have a really, 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 really hard time telling people to their face what I think about them. Especially if it's positive. So... yeah, I don't know. The mind works in mysterious ways. That's all I can say. The mind works in mysterious ways. I am that womb. I make and unmake this universe. Than me there is no other master, no other maker. All these hang on me as hangs in a row of pearls upon its string. I am the fresh taste of water. I, the silver of the moon, the gold of the sun, the word of worship in the Veds, the thrill that passes in the ether, and the strength of man's shed seed. I am the good sweet smell of the moistened earth. I am the fire's red light, the vital air moving in all which moves, the holiness of hallowed souls, the root undying whence hath sprung whatever is, the wisdom of the wise, the intellect of the informed, the greatness of the great, the splendor of the splendid. These am I, free from passion and desire. Yet I am right, desire in all those who yearn, chief of Bharatas, for all the moods, soothfast or passionate or ignorant, which nature frames, deduce from me, but all are merged in me, not I in them. The world, deceived by those three qualities of being, wotteth not me who am outside them all, above all, eternal. Hard it is to pierce that veil divine of various shows which hideth me, yet they who worship me pierce it and pass beyond. I am not known to evildoers, nor foolish ones, nor to the base, nor to those whose mind is cheated by the show of things, nor those that take the way of asuras. Four sorts of mortals know me: he who weeps, and the man who yearns to know, and he who toils to help, and he who sits, certain of me, enlightened. He who weeps. I wonder what he means by that. To weep and gain enlightenment. Of these four, highest, nearest, best, that last is the devout soul, wise, intent upon the one. Dear above all am I to him, and he is dearest unto me. All four are good and seek me, but mine own, the true of heart, the faithful, stayed on me, taking me as their utmost blessedness. They are not mine, but I, even I myself. At end of many births to me they come. Yet hard the wise is to find the man who saith, all is Vasudev. There be those too whose knowledge turned aside by this desire or that gives them to serve some lower gods with various rites, constrained by that which moldeth them. I think the answer that's being given is you should love yourself. You should love yourself. Because it's mentioned how the enlightened
Accept
one.
yourself.
Yeah, exactly, Refly, exactly.
Folks. It starts with you. It starts with you.
That is how you become enlightened, is you love yourself. Here it's written as loving Sri Krishna, Lord Krishna, but ultimately you realize that Krishna is not different than you. That you are the same. You are one and the same. And therefore it's not like you're worshiping a god that's above you. You're worshiping a god who is yourself. I mean, you're not considering yourself a god. So, okay. But don't love yourself too much. Well, here's the thing, Refly. I wonder if that's why that's why there's the personification of God outside of oneself. Therefore, that provides the structure of, okay, I need to develop this humility, right? By worshiping an external entity, by worshiping something that's different, but then ultimately realizing that the manifestation of that person is the manifestation of the same reality as me. So it's like it's built into the framework of Hinduism that you need to love yourself, but not too much. You need to also be humble. I mean, they give the opportunity to. I remember the guru, the monk saying this, of how you can kind of pick any god you want, any idol you want to worship. Like there's so many Hindu gods. I mean, it's countless, and you could pick any one of them, and it's the one you pick that hopefully helps you conceptualize the ultimate reality, which is that you need to be humble, but also you need to realize that you are God. Just replace God with good. Add an extra O. Yeah. I am good. I am good. Yeah, you could see it that way too. I think ultimately it's to help people realize that they have so much more potential than they think they do. And like so much potential for doing good than they think they do. Well, I always know that the way that I can help other people is if I first come to appreciate myself and love myself. It goes hand in hand. You gotta do both. You gotta work on both. There be those too whose knowledge turned aside by this desire or that gives them to serve some lower gods with various rites constrained by that which mouldeth them. Unto all such worship what shrine they will, what shapes in faith. 'Tis I who give them faith, I am content. The heart thus asking favor from its God, darkened but ardent, hath the end it craves. The lesser blessing, but 'tis I who give. Yet soon is withered what small fruit they reap. Those men of little minds who worship so, go where they worship, passing with their gods. But mine come unto me. Blind are the eyes which deem the unmanifested manifest, not comprehending me in my true self. Imperishable, viewless, undeclared, hidden behind my magic veil of shows, I am not seen by all, I am not known, unborn and changeless to the idle world. But I, Arjuna, know all things which were, and all which are, and all which are to be, albeit not one among them knoweth me. By passion for the pairs of opposites, by those twain snares of like and dislike, all creatures live bewildered, save some few, who quit of sins wholly in act, uninformed, freed from the opposites, and fixed in faith, cleave unto me. It keeps going back to this idea of we need to not have any like or dislike. We need to free ourselves from having an opinion about everything. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? What do you think about this? What do you think about that? No, none of that. It just is. All of it just is. It's not about what you think about what it is. It's what is. What is? Who cleave and who seek in me refuge from birth and death, those have the truth. Those know me. Brahma, know me, soul of souls. The Adhyataman, know karma, my work. Know I am Lord of life, and Lord of all gods, and Lord of sacrifice. Worship me well with hearts of love and faith, and find and hold me in the hour of death. That's the end of chapter 7. That's the end of chapter 7. I wonder if I should conclude. That might have to be where I conclude. Yeah, I think I'm spent. But I hope everybody has a good rest of their day, and I'll see you next time, hopefully with some more interesting and fun things to do. Thank you for spending time with me. And yeah. Okay. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Thank you, Refly. Bye.